Right. So yesterday I hope we completed the BMM layer, right? Business model and mapping layer. Business model and mapping layer. Today we need to go ahead with the next answer that is called as presentation layer. Presentation layer. In the name itself, if you go and understand the title, how it's came. Presentation layer. That means what's something we are going to present to customer. Something we are going to present to customer. Whatever you did the work in physical layer, whatever you did work in BMM layer, these two layers are not visible to end user or report developer. What end of the day, what is visible to the end user or report developer is only the presentation layer. Whatever work you are going to do in presentation layer, only that work is visible to the end user. Only that work is visible to the end user. Right. Presentation layer is the only layer visible to end users. End user may be with respect to RPD developer, I can say report developer also my end user, because my RPD is using by report developer, and also my customer also called as client or customer also called as end user. Okay, my end users means report developer or clients. These guys are going to see only layer. That layer is presentation layer. That layer is presentation layer. Now, in presentation layer, we have four types of objects. Number one is called as subject area. Number two is called as presentation table. Number three is presentation column. Number four is hierarchy object. However, this hierarchy object is a new feature. Hierarchy object is a newly introduced in 11G. Hierarchy object newly introduced in 11G. Now, subject area, whatever we are seeing here in 11G is called as presentation catalog in 10G. That means 10G to 11G, just renaming is happened. That 10G to 11G renaming is happened. Here, whatever we are calling it as presentation catalog, we were used to call this as subject area in case of 11G. Now, we'll go and try to understand up to here. Then we'll go for this fifth point and sixth point. Single subject area must be connected, something it is there, right? That we'll try to understand after few minutes. Fifth and sixth points, keep park. Let us go for the step one that is called as creating subject area. Very simple job it is. Right click on the presentation layer, new subject area, name it as supply sales representative, click on OK. From sales business model, select all the tables, drag and drop on supplier sales rep. Similarly, create one more subject area with the name of supplier sales DM, that means district manager. DM stands for district manager. Drag and drop creates products and sales facts tables. Only these things we are trying to drag and drop. What we are trying to do is, let me open our RPD. I am trying to open our RPD. Let us say open in offline mode. Then your RPD name is B201 underscore EBA is your RPD. I am trying to open that one. Password is RR capital, IT is small, 123. Just open. Now, if you go and see, I have nothing in the presentation layer. Okay. Now, I want to create here presentation layer. How to create is right click here. Then I am seeing here one option that is called as new subject area. Okay, the new subject area is creating based on what's that? Existing business model. So subject area is always depending on what's that? BMM layer business model. Now, I would like to give a name as, let us say, supplier sales representative. That means, let us say, assume like in my sales team, I have two types of people are available. Two designation people are available. Two roles of people are available. One role of people are representatives. One role of people are district managers. The first designation people I am trying to create here. As a representative, you may need to directly interact with the customer. That is the reason I am trying to give customer name is what, customer key is what, those all information. And you also require some products information also require, and also require some time also require, and also require some facts are required. So one by one I am trying to drag and drop everything. Whatever you dragged and dropped here, this table is called as now, what is the table, sir? presentation table. Whenever you drag and drop a physical table, from physical layer to BMM layer, then it becomes what, sir? Then it becomes logical table. The logical table, whenever you drag and drop from here to here, then it becomes presentation table. So the table which is available in the physical layer is known as physical table. The table which is available in BMM layer is known as logical table. The table which is available in the presentation layer is known as presentation table. Okay, that point is very clear. Now I want to create here one more subject area. Let us say new subject area, and I am giving the name as supplier sales district manager. The supplier sales district manager subject area also creating based on what, sir? Based on same business model. From this, you people need to understand you can create multiple subject areas using single business model. You can create multiple subject areas using one business model. Okay, that point is very clear for us. You can create that one. Now, I want here, as a district manager, most of the times you won't interact with the customer. You won't have time to interact with the customer. You will be giving required training and required guidelines to the representatives. Representatives are going to interact with the customers. So what I would like to say is, I don't want customer remaining all things I want, so drag and drop remaining all things. I am trying to drag and drop remaining all things. I drag and drop. Now, if people understand here, I have two things are available here. This is the one subject area, this is the one subject area. Both are coming from same business model. Same business model. Okay, now if people understand very clearly what is the meaning of subject area, and inside this one presentation table and presentation column. However, I have one question. What is the question is, how I come to understand from this business model I need to create, these are the two subject areas. Based on what we decided, these are the two subject areas we require. Based on what, sir? Different themes available inside the sales. The sales is what, sir? Sales is a one department. Sales is what, sir? Sales is a one department. Inside the sales, what are the teams are available? Team A. Team A corresponding what, sir? I want one thing. And I want, let us say, team B. Team B corresponding what, sir? I want one subject area. For better understanding purpose, let me open other RPD which is given by Oracle guy, BA Administration, open offline, Enterprise Business Analytics, open admin 123. This is created by Oracle guy. The password of this one is what, sir? Admin 123. A is capital, remaining letters are small. Right. Now tell me one point. Let us say externally we used to call it as HR team. HR team, internally we have different teams are available or not, sir? Different teams are available. That is the reason if you go and see here, I have here HR corresponding subject areas are available. However, HR corresponding subject areas are starts with year to year, all are talking about the HRs only. Human resources absence, human resources compensation, human resources compensation free earlier version, learning enrollment and management, performance earlier version, recruitment, like that we have a number of things are there. From these all things, what is your understanding? Tell me, even though we are calling it as HR, internally HR teams are divided into what, sir? Some team members are going to take care of who are going to absent. Some team members are going to take care of learning and management. Some team members are going to take care of recruitment and all. Yes or no? Right. So that is the reason what I would like to say is, first we need to understand before creating subject area. First we need to understand how many teams are available in that one. How many teams are available in that one, we need to understand. Once you understand how many teams are available inside that one, once you understand that, then we need to go for the creating subject areas. Creating subject area. Am I clear this point? Okay. Right. That point is very clear. Let us move on to the here I decided like I want two teams I require. One is called as supply sales representative. Second is called as supply sales district manager. That is the reason two things I created. In case of HR guy, these many teams are available, so he created these many things. Similarly, in insurance also, these many different areas are available. He created insurance corresponding different things. So from this, if people understand one business model, from one business model, you can create a number of subject areas. These subject areas were creating based on different teams, Normal sales representatives purpose, one subject area. District managers purpose, one subject area. Like that, a number of subject areas we are creating here. Okay, that point is very clear. Now try to understand fifth point and sixth point. What is the fifth point? Single subject area must be populated with content from single business model. Cannot span business models. What is the meaning of this one? For example, I am creating here one more business model I am creating. I am duplicating the existing one. Then I have here one more business model is available. Now in my BMM layer, I have two business models are available. Then I am trying to create here one new subject area. The new subject area name is called as TEST test. And this test also coming from by default from where, sir? Business model B201 sales. If I go to the drop down of this one, I have here B201 sales hash also available. That means from this you need to understand one subject area you need to create using only one business model or multiple business models. Using only one business model. Suppose if I select here B201 sales, I selected. Click on OK. Then whatever table if you want to drag and drop from B201 sales, you can drag and drop it, no problem. But you cannot drag and drop from where, sir? B201 sales hash 1 you cannot drag and drop. It is not allowing me to drag and drop. That means one subject area strictly creating from where, sir? One business model. Whereas from one business model, can you create n number of subject areas or not? I created this subject area from this business model only. And I created this subject area also from this business model only. This one also created from the same business model. That means from one business model, you can create n number of subject areas. From one business model, you can create n number of subject areas. That is possible. But whereas one subject area cannot be created using n number of business models. This is possible. This is not possible. That's what I am trying to tell in this point. Multiple subject areas can reference the same business model. That is possible. I have here supply sales representative and I have here supply sales district manager. Both are pointing to same business model. Okay. Now, if people understand step 1, creating subject area, right click on the presentation layer, create the new subject area, click on OK, drag and drop the things. Second one is reorder the columns. Let us say I am deleting this test. I am deleting this business model also. I have here fact sales is available. Inside this one, net weight shift is available. Suppose this net weight shift I am looking for at the bottom. I am looking. That means under the unit shift I am looking. Even these derived columns are not required. I am deleting it. Now I want this net weight shift after the unit shift I am looking for. Then what all you need to do is this net weight shift, dollars, unit order, unit shift. These all things are available under what, sir? Under table. So double click on the table. If you double click on table, there I have one option that is known as columns. If you select a net weight shift, click on the down arrow mark. Then we are going to the up to net weight shift here. Then click on OK. Net weight shift is came here. So whatever position you want, you can shift that position very easily. You can shift it. Even it will work. Drag and drop also it is going to work here like this. Drag and drop also is going to work. Okay, right. I am trying to click on OK. Net weight shift is came here. Now that's what the meaning of reorder columns. Double click on sales presentation table. Click on column. Select dollars, unit order, unit shift. Click on up arrow mark and make sure these are in first, second, and third positions respectively. So now also same way available. Dollars is first position, unit order in second position, unit shift is in third position. Let us move on to the next one that is called as reorder the tables. Reorder the tables. Always best practice is fact table should be available in the bottom and dimension table should be available in the top. And out of these dimension tables, which dimension tables we need to locate in the first position, second position, like that means based on the use case, Which one we are going to use more in the reports, that one we are going to keep in the first position. Most of the reports will contain time parameter. That is the reason I would like to keep this time table first position. Tell me these all tables are available under what, sir? Under subject area. So double click on the subject area. There I have one option. That option is known as presentation tables. Then once you have the presentation tables, you can drag and drop simply dim1 periods like this. Okay, click on OK. Then we are able to see dim1 periods is came to the first position. If you want to rename further, you can go ahead and you can rename these things further. I mean to say, by default it is using what is the name, sir? Whatever name is available here, same name it is using. For example, if you want to rename one more round of here already we renamed, but still you want to rename here, then that is possible. Double click on this one, go to the general tab, there you can go and you can rename it. I am renaming as periods. Now, after I renaming the periods, how the communication between these two things is going on? Even though you renamed this one, if you go and see internally, custom display name is what, sir? It is showing as periods, whereas custom description, if you see here, it is pointing supplier sales representative periods. Okay. So custom display name and custom description is pointing to what it is pointing, sir? Supplier sales representative underscore periods, whatever name you given, that name only it is giving. Yes or no, sir? Now, actually my question is how this communication between these periods and dim1 periods is going on. This is not going to answer my question, right? This is not going to answer my question. Yes, that is correct answer. Not alias it is aliases. You need to say what, sir? Aliases. Here I have one option that is called as aliases. If I click on this aliases, there the original name is what, sir? Still available. The original name is still available. Even though you are modifying this name, actual name is storing here. Because of this one, it is going to work perfect. One important question is there, sir, on this topic. What is that is? Based on this aliases, we have one important question. What is that is? I developed the presentation layer and I also loaded into the server. Thereafter, I developed 100 reports using one particular column called as dollars. Using one column, I developed 100 reports using dollars column. Thereafter, due to some requirement change, what happened is, in the RPD, the dollars column, whatever available, we changed that into the revenue. In the presentation layer, dollars column we changed into what's our revenue. Now, what will happen to my 100 reports? My 100 reports still going to work or not going to work? If still working, based on what it is going to work? There is no dollars column here, yes or no? Still it is working means based on what it is going to work? Answer is what, sir? Using aliases. Even though you are renaming as revenue, dollars name is still available where, sir? In aliases it is available. That is the reason reference is not losing. We are not losing a reference. That is the reason it is going to work. It is one of the famous questions. Whatever changes you are doing in the presentation layer, nothing to worry. Your existing reports are keep on working. Because the old names references are available in the aliases. Okay. Now, that point is very clear. You understand now how to reorder the tables. We have one important thing that is called as step 4. Creating nested folders or nested tables for version 11.1.1.6 or lower versions. Even this method you can use in 11.1.1.7 also. Even it is working, what, sir? In 11.1.1.7, but not required. That means we are not going to use this one. Better than this one, we have one more thing. That one we are going to use it. Right. What is the meaning of this one is up to 11.1.1.6. If I want to create the subfolder, I want to create the subfolder. What is my requirement is I have here fact sales. Under this one, dollars, unit ordered, unit shipped, net weight shipped. These all four columns are directly coming from where, sir? Physical layer D1 order to table. Whereas this pending orders is a derived column in the BMM layer. I want to create under fact sales two subfolders. One folder should hold these four columns, and I want to name this folder as actual columns that are coming from database. And I want to hold this column into a folder. That folder is called as derived columns. Like that, I want to create two subfolders. One is known as actual, second is known as derived. These two things I want to hold these kind of corresponding columns. How to do that one? That is very simple. We need to follow one syntax. That syntax is prefix the name of the presentation folder to be nested with a hyphen and a space. We should have hyphen and followed by a space. OR type hyphen greater than in the description of the table. Either you can follow first syntax or you can follow second syntax. Using any one syntax you can achieve this one. Right, but must you need to place after the folder in which it needs to be nested. That means if you want nested folder of this fact sales means under this only we need to have the new tables. If you want for this means under this only we need to have the new tables. Let us go and try to create the same thing. I am giving control to someone. Yes, who want to do it? Samar Panda. I am giving control to you. Samar, I gave control to you. Right. Double click on subject area, sir. Double click on subject area, supplier sales representative. There I can see presentation tables. Inside the presentation tables tab, I have one plus symbol. Click on the plus symbol so that we can create here actual table. Create here actual columns or database columns, whatever you can say. Actual columns means what, sir? It is directly coming from the database. Wait a moment. Now we want to go for this as a nested. Nested means what is the syntax, sir? Before the name, we need to write hyphen followed by space. So write here hyphen followed by space. Now click on OK. Right. Let us move on to the next one. Let us say one more thing also you want, right? Again double click on subject area. Then I want one more thing. Go for one more thing and give the name as derived columns. And here this is the syntax what I are using, right? Already the syntax I used here. To experience, it is going to work fine, sir, no problem. You can use same syntax for multiple tables. But to get more experience, what I am doing is, I am not using same syntax. I am using what, sir? Another syntax I am using here. Any one syntax you can use to make the nested folders. Click on OK. And one point you can notice here, even though these two things I am saying as nested folders of this fact sales, it is not looking like that. Inside the RPD, it is not looking like that. That is true only. Wherever we are seeing the RPD, inside the RPD, it won't be looks like that. But once I load this one into the server, at that moment, it is going to look like that. For example, I am opening another batch RPD. I am opening. My server is not started. So today what happened is morning, internet connection disconnected, sir. what is a small problem with the OBW is my administrator came and he didn't check the what is happening in the internet. He started my server. My server started without internet connection. At the time of starting, it is going to use some port numbers. Thereafter, my internet is coming using a router, right? So this router is enabled for the router IP is enabled for this internet. Whenever you put this router IP address internet, immediately the IP address which is started OBAW that is disturbed. Because of that one, it is throwing that kind of error. So in our case also, suppose you started your server and in between internet connection gone and came. At that moment also sometimes your OBA will not be working fine. At the moment solution is stop your server and again start your server. It will be working. If it is not working, then restart your server, guaranteed it is going to work. Am I clear? Okay. What I am trying to tell is, let us say these things I will show you down the line. Whatever you are doing here, these things will be coming as what, sir? Subfolders in the front end. Okay, that point is very clear. However, here we have some difficulties there. What is the difficulty, sir? We need to remember the syntaxes, hyphen, space, hyphen, greater than. These all syntaxes you need to remember. That is a one headache. Second headache is, if I want one more level of the nesting, here only words are under fact sales, these two things are coming. Now what I want to do is, under fact sales, this one I want, that is okay. Under derived columns, I want time based on the time derived columns, based on the sales derived columns, based on the finance derived columns, like that n number of derived columns types I want to keep over here. That means what, sir? I am expecting one more level of nesting or not? One more level of nesting, which is not possible up to 11.1.1 version. Multiple nested is not possible up to what, sir? 11.1.1.6 version. That problem is we are able to overcome. That problem we are able to overcome by using one option which is available in here, that is called as what is the option, sir? Child presentation tables. One option is available. This option is not available if you go and take the up to 11.1.1.6 version. This option is not available. Now we'll go and we'll try to use we'll take help of this one and try to overcome this problem. Let me go and try to delete this one. Actual columns I am deleting. Derived columns also I am deleting. Okay, now I will start from beginning and will use the child presentation tables and do that one. Okay, double click on again subject area, sir. Subject area. Create two tables as usual. Normal tables only you created. That is actual columns. Don't use any syntaxes. Just straight away write the names. Actual columns. Then derived columns. Okay. Then one more thing. Plus. Then derived columns. Okay. And one more thing also created. Time-based calculations. Okay. Now click on OK. Right. Now we need to drag and drop corresponding columns into corresponding things. First four columns drag and drop onto actual columns. First four columns drag and drop onto actual columns. First four columns drag and drop onto actual columns, and pending orders drag and drop onto no, careful. Only pending orders you need to hold it. Pending orders drag and drop onto derived columns. Right. Now I want to make this actual columns and derived columns as a childs for fact sales, as childs for fact sales. So what you can do is double click on this fact sales, double click on this fact sales. Then I have here one option that is known as child presentation tables. Then from here you can do it your own. Yes, click on that. I want childs as two things. I want childs. One is called as actual columns. Second is called as derived columns. Actual columns. Second is called as derived columns. Derived columns. Select it. Select it. Now click on OK. Now derived columns child as time based calculation I want. Derived columns child as time based calculation I want. So double click on derived columns. Double click on derived columns. Then I have here child presentation tables. Click on plus symbol. Then select here time based calculations. Click on select. Click on OK. Right. We completed now. Under fact sales, two childs are available now. One child is called as actual columns. Actual columns. Then what's that? Derived columns. These are the two childs whatever available. And for this derived columns, we have one child. That child is what's that? Time based is the one child whatever available. So multiple levels you can create or not, sir. We have the C drive. In the C drive, we have the movies folder. Movies folder has the English movies, Hindi movies, okay, like that. Again, English movies are, we have some funny movies, some horror movies like that. Okay, you can divide a number of folders, right? Similarly, here also we are trying to divide it. Nothing but subfolder concept. Nothing but subfolder concept. But as per the OBW terminology, we are saying this as nested folders. We are saying as nested folders. One folder is nesting in another folder. That is the reason it is called as nested folders. Or it is also called as nested presentation tables. We are playing around the presentation tables. That is the reason nested presentation tables we are saying. How many levels of nesting is allowed? N number of levels, sir. Even I tried up to 15 levels. I tried. Okay, it is working. Okay, and in the documentation there is no given any limitation and all. You can try N number of levels. I think 15 levels is more than enough. Okay, right. So we have the time, just keep on create A, B, C, D like this, N number of things create it, A to B, child, B to C, child, C to D, child, like that, make it and see what is happening. Okay. Right. Let us go for the next one. We completed now one point. That point is called as creating nested folders or nested tables. I given two points I given step 4, right? Step 4 up to 11.1.1.6 or lower version 1 point I given. Again same step 4 is I given one more time. Step 4 creating what, sir? Nested folders or nested tables in OBW 11.1.1.7. Child presentation table option introduced in the version that is called as 11.1.1.7 version. We can create n number of nested folder levels. There is no limitation. And process is very simple process. We created in presentation layer, double click on supplier sales representative subject area, create 3 folders. One is actual, derived, next time series. Double click on sales facts presentation table, click on child presentation table. We are adding these two tables. Again we are clicking on the derived one and we are adding here what's a time series. Everything is covered in the notes. Now with this we understand 4 steps whatever available in the presentation layer. Am I clear, sir? Right. Let us go and walk through the PowerPoint whatever available presentation layer PowerPoint. I am going to the RRA Tech you must practice, then presentations. There I have the presentation layer. Then if you go and observe here, objective presentation layer provides a way to present a customized view of business model to user. Correct or not, sir? This is what my whole business model. Out of this business model, I configured some tables under supplier sales. I configured some tables under supplier sales DM. Even down the line, I am going to provide the permissions also in such a way, district manager will able to see only this one, but not this one. Representative will able to see only this one. but not what, sir? This one. Like that, I am going to provide down the line permissions also. Down the line permissions also. What I mean to tell is, I can go ahead, supplier sales representative, their general tab. In the general tab, what is there, sir? I have one option. That option is called as permissions. I can deny. I can give the no access to this representative subject area to whom, sir? District managers. District managers cannot see what, sir? Representatives. Like that, I can go ahead and I can provide the permissions. Suppose, let us say I have a district managers group is available. District managers group is available. All I need to do is what, sir? Select here no access, so that guy will not able to see my district manager. Anyhow, that one we are going to understand down the line. Whatever presentation layer, subject areas are available, don't think like all the things will be seen by all the people. No. Options guy will able to see only what, sir? Options, subject area, remaining all things will be hidden. If you want, you can observe this one. Double click on this options, then go to the general tab, go to the permissions, observe here. Here I have one group. That group is called as authenticated users. What is the group, sir? Authenticated users. Authenticated user is a master group. Authenticated user is a master group. That means if you create a user, or if you have one group, each and every user, each and every group is a member of authenticated user. Whatever privileges or permissions I provided at the level of authentication user, that will be applied to all the members of the application. All the users are members of the authentication users. That is a by default functionality. By default functionality is what, sir? One user, if you create, that user will be member of authentication user. Such a beautiful authentication user. What I given, sir, here? No access. That means what, sir? By default, all the users, all the groups will be having no access. However, explicitly at the level of options folder, options group, I given what, sir? Read I given. Explicitly I given a read. That means what, sir? This guy will be only able to read it. This guy is what, sir? Default. Default means what, sir? No access will be passing here. Default means what, sir? Whatever permissions are available for authenticated user, that will be passing here. So remaining all groups will be getting what, sir? Default permissions as no access, whereas options we given explicitly reading permissions. That is the reason this guy is able to read it. You got my point? Similarly, if you go for other one, let us say cancel compensation. Double click on this compensation, go to the general tab, go to the permissions. What happens, sir? Authenticated user level, no access. And options, default. Default means what, sir? Default means no access will be passing here. And if you go down the line, we have one thing that is called as compensation. Only for compensation, what is available? Read. Remaining all groups will be containing what, sir? No access, sorry, default. Default means nothing but no access. Default means nothing but no access. Am I clear, sir? So what I would like to say is, tomorrow options guy is logged in, he will be able to see only what, sir? Options. Compensation guy is logged in, he will be able to see only what, sir? Compensation. Like that it is going to work. Am I clear this point? Okay. Now, we are very clear about this point. Now, next point. Expose only the data meaningful to the users. As I said earlier, customer information is not meaningful to the district manager. So these are roles or username. These are roles, sir. Whatever I shown previously, absence is a role. Under the role, we have a number of groups. Under the group, we have a number of users. That's for the architecture. Okay. A number of users we are going to combine under the group. Under the role, most of the times we will be combining the groups. Of course, under the roles, directly I can map the user also, but best practice wise, we'll map what, sir? Groups will map. That's what the best practice. Okay, right. Now, and one more point, anyhow we came to this point, right? Role is a new concept in Mobile 11G. Role concept is not there in 10G. In 10G we have only users and groups are available. Role is not there. Role is a purely new concept in 11G. Okay. Now, let us move on to the next one. Expose only data meaningful to the users. Meaningful to the users. What is the meaning? In case of supplier says district managers, customers is not at all relevant, because this guy is not going to call the customer and is not going to ask what is the problem and all. He is not going to go to the home of the customer. So it is not relevant to him. The reason customers we are not taking here. Whatever columns, whatever tables you think like it is relevant, only those columns, only those tables are going to move here. Next one, organizes the data in a way that aligns with the way users think about the data. Users think about the data. Whatever way users are thinking, let us say I want, these are the columns I want. We are going to customize in that way only. Okay, whatever user is thinking, in that way only we are going to give it. Rename data as necessary for the set of users. As I said earlier, even if you want to rename one more level of renaming in the presentation layer, you can rename it. Suppose I have a column in the period, that column is called as year column. Okay, I have here finance and sales is available, say. I can write a calendar year, I can write here finance year, like that. Next point, presentation layer objects. We have these are the objects. One is subject area. In 10G it was called as presentation catalog, presentation table, presentation column, hierarchy object. Hierarchy object is a new feature in OBW 11G. Now, subject area. Organize and simplify the business model for a set of users. From this I created here. This is for the group of people. What, sir? User group 1. This one we created for the group of people. What, sir? User group 2. So subject areas we are deciding based on what, sir? User groups. How many teams are available? That many I am going to create. For example, in HR team I have options, compensation, like that. A number of teams are there. So I am going to create a number of subject areas. Now, single subject area must be populated with content from single business model. Cannot span business models. Cannot span business models. You cannot create one subject area from multiple business models. Multiple subject areas can reference the same business model. I have here one subject area, second subject area. These two things may be pointing to same business model. Next, presentation tables. Organize presentation columns into categories that make sense to the users. What the meaning is, suppose I am saying this as periods. That means inside this one we are expecting only time relevant columns, or expecting product columns, sir? Time relevant columns. So we are going to group the columns in a way user will make some sense. You should not keep the column coming from the products here. Next, may contain columns from one or more logical tables. This is possible. I mean to say, if I want to create here one more table, the table is known as new presentation table with the name of, this is miscellaneous. Under the miscellaneous, I am taking one column from here, one column from here, one column from here. Like this, a number of columns I want to take it. Can I take it or not, sir? It is allowing or not? That means under one presentation table, you may be getting the columns from, where, sir? A number of logical tables. That is possible. But however, this kind of things will be very rarely we'll do it, sir. Business wise, this kind of things we are going to do very rarely. Right. But that is possible. That's what I mean to tell. Can be modified independently of logical tables. If I rename something here, is it going to rename here? No. Suppose here I renamed as periods. Is it renamed here, sir? No. Then it is independent of the logical tables or not, sir? Renaming is independent of logical tables. Next one, can be created automatically by dragging logical tables from BMM layer manually in the presentation layer. Just now whatever miscellaneous I created, that is manual process. Previously whatever I created, that is drag and drop process. Now, presentation columns. Define the columns used to build queries in the Oracle BI user interface. Each and every presentation column must be mapped with only one logical column. Whereas One logical column may be mapped with multiple what, sir? Physical columns. One logical column mapped with here multiple what, sir? Physical columns. But here one presentation column strictly mapped with what, sir? Only one logical column. So 1:1 this is what, sir? And 1:n. So one logical column may be mapped with n number of physical columns, whereas one presentation column mapped with only one logical column. That's what I mean to tell. Next, we can create this one automatically by dragging logical tables or columns from the BMM layer manually in the presentation layer. If you want to create manually also, let us say right click on this one, then new object, then what, sir? Presentation column, and let us say I am removing this use logical column name, I am removing. Let us say, or you can keep this one also, no problem. I want to, logical column is what, sir? As of now not assigned. Let us go to the browse and select any one column, click on select. Now whatever logical column name is available, same name is appearing as what, sir? Presentation column, because you selected this option. Click on OK, then that column is K. Now this column is depending on one logical column. What is the logical column, sir? Dollars. Even if you want, right click and go for the query related objects, logical columns, we are getting only one dollars column. Click on go to, then we are going to what, sir? Dollars column. That's why it is highlighted. You got my point? Now if I go and if I rename this one, is it going to work or not going to work, sir? If I want to rename this one, can I rename or not, sir? Let us say I am removing this one. Let us say I am giving as something else name. Click on OK, and it is going to work or not, sir? It is going to work based on aliases. Okay, that point is very clear. By default, each and every column taking a column name, what's our logical column name only it is going to take. By default is what's our logical column name, whatever available, same name is going to take by presentation column also. But if you want to override that one, yes, you can override that one by double clicking on that one, then go for enable this option and do it. And however, you don't have, if I right click here, I am getting here one option called as rename option. If I right click here, are you getting the rename option anywhere? You don't have. Why? Because by default it is using what, sir? Logical column name it is using. If you want some other name is, you need to disable this one. Then we need to provide the name. Am I clear? Right. Okay, that point is very clear for us. Next, hierarchy object. Hierarchy object is a newly introduced in VB 11G. Supports drill down, drill up, analysis in reports. So down the line you come to understand what you mean by drill down, what you mean by drill up, these all things. Okay, and even I will talk more about this hierarchy object down the line. Let us move on to the next one. Presentation layer mappings. If simply blindly if you go and drag and drop. Let us say I am not doing any work here. Blindly I am trying to drag and drop business model into what's a presentation layer. Whenever you drag and drop blindly business model into here, then automatically what are the changes are occurring is whatever business model is available, that is appearing as what, sir? Subject area. Whatever logical table is available, that is appearing as what, sir? Presentation table. Whatever logical column is available, that is appearing as what, sir? Presentation column. That's what I am saying as your objects mapping. Business model is equivalent to what, sir? Subject area, presentation table, sorry, logical table and presentation table, logical column and presentation columns. Next, define user interface. As I said earlier, this was the user interface. Whatever you are going to do in the presentation layer, down the line it is going to appear into what, sir? Front end it is going to appear it. Now this was the nested presentation tables. You created one nested presentation table. Down the line, if you observe here, facts and sales facts appearing as nested folders or not, sir? One level below is available or not? Down the line, we'll see our RPD also. Once I load into the server, then you can see, first you'll see what, sir? Fact sales, below that one actual, then derived. Under the derived, you'll see the time series. Right. Now aliases, keep track of any changes to presentation layer objects. Whatever alias is available here, this is going to keep track of the changes. Prior names. If you want to add or delete alias, you can do it. but don't touch this delete option, sir. Let it be. One thing extra is available, nothing is wrong. So don't touch that one. If you want to add it, means okay, you can add it, but don't delete something because we don't know where it is referring also, right? That is the reason existing RPD should not touch that one. Okay. Now ABC example, we know now how to create the new subject area. New subject area, renaming the tables, we are aware of it, reorder the tables, we are aware of it, delete the columns, rename the columns, reorder the columns, considerations, best practices, just walk through it, you come to understand. This was total our presentation layer. This was total our presentation layer. Any questions in the presentation layer, sir? Very simple or not? Very simple. In this one, important interview question is, I have a presentation column. With this, I developed 100 reports. Thereafter, due to XYZ reason, I renamed the presentation column the presentation layer. What will happen to the 100 reports? Answer is what, sir? Still it is going to work. Still it is going to work because of what, sir? Aliases. Because of aliases. That's what the point you need to understand. Please make note of this point. Please make note of this point. If you develop n number of reports, using a presentation column, then we renamed presentation column. Then we renamed presentation column. Then what will happen to n number of reports? Then what will happen to n number of reports? Then what will happen to n number of reports? Then what will happen to n number of reports? Answer. All reports are going to work. All reports are going to work without any issues. Without any issues. By using the old name reference. By using old name. By using old name. By using old name reference from aliases folder. By using old name reference from aliases folder. 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 Okay, thank you. Tomorrow we'll discuss next layer, sir. That's very important one. Testing and validating. Testing and validating. That class is almost, I can say, in our OBAWE, whatever chapters are available, this chapter is a very important chapter. Testing and validating. Tomorrow class you should not miss. Okay, thank you.